Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one we have got for you a full guide to the week 8 challenges, including the treasure map, the hungry gnomes, secret chests for the chest challenge, and more tips for the other challenges. But yeah guys, we're getting super close to the end of season 4, just a few more weeks to go, but you know we gotta keep it up with these weekly challenges to get that XP, to get to level 80 and unlock the full Omega armor. I'm making my way there, getting close, but I'm still gonna have to do these challenges for that extra sweet XP. But yeah guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button down below. It helps me out so much and encourages me to make more of these guides every single week. Along with that, be sure to comment what tier or level you guys are at, because currently I am at tier 100 and just about at level 66, so I'm making my way there, but I'm curious to see where you guys are at generally and see how many of you are going to get to level 80 Omega. But yeah guys, let's jump into it here with the tips, tricks, and secrets for every single challenge this week, and actually started out by going through this week's challenges because we do these a day early. They're always leaked a little bit early, so let's go ahead and get into them. And these are credit to stormshield1.com, so big thanks to them. I'll link them down below in the description, but let's go through the challenges here. So first of all, you have deal 250 headshot damage to opponents, which is a pretty unique challenge. And then you've got search 7 chests in Salty Springs, got some secret chests to show you there, search 7 chests in a single match, search 7 hungry gnomes, which we definitely have to talk about that one. And then the treasure, search between a bear crater and a refrigerator shipment, got the location of that. And then finally get 3 suppressed weapon eliminations and eliminate 3 opponents in Pleasant Park. Got some tips for those as always if you guys are having a tough time with them. But yeah guys, those are some interesting challenges for this week, so let's go ahead and jump into it with the first challenge I want to go over, and that is actually the suppressed eliminations challenge. So this one's pretty easy, why I wanted to start it off a little bit easy, but it can be tough because the suppressed weapons aren't the best in the game. And also as a note, this refers to the suppressed SMG or the suppressed pistols in the purple and legendary golden versions. So how do you get this done the fastest way possible? Well, first of all, let's go over the tip I usually give you guys for these like eliminations challenge with the unique weapons, and that is to go into a squad type mode, because obviously the ability to knock somebody down and then eliminate them works to our favor to get this challenge done. So specifically if you're playing by yourself, I would recommend the teams of 20, but again, it doesn't really matter. Just go into one of these modes, find a suppressed weapon on the ground, and then pick up your normal weapons that you usually get as well, and then try and find somebody off on their own. Now once you've found somebody, go ahead and knock them down and then run up to them, pull out your suppressed weapon and finish them off with that weapon, and that elimination will count towards the suppressed weapon challenge, as long of course as you're the person to knock somebody down and not like your teammate. But yeah, just do that 3 times and it's super easy to get done. But anyways, let's move on here to the second challenge I want to talk about here, and this is the chests challenge for this week, Salty Springs. Now this one is definitely a bit easier than last week with Risky Reels. It's not like a ton easier, but I do have some chest suggestions to help you get this done. Now first of all, let's talk about game modes. Last week a ton of people are starting to figure out the trick of not doing it in solo, so 50v50 was still super busy even though you didn't really have to worry about enemies. So this time, I mean, do whatever game mode you feel comfortable with. I would maybe go for like duos or squads because I still feel like that is a little bit more quiet for going for challenges. Teams of 20 might be good, but I'm really not quite sure. Just try out different game modes. Now with that being said, what about the secret chest? Well, let's start off with one secret chest that I'm pretty sure will count for this challenge, and this is the chest that is up in this like tower up here that is just outside of the, you know, neighborhood of Salty Springs. So I believe it should count, but just land up there. If the chest is there, grab it, and that should be one that nobody else is really going to go after. Now after that, the rest of the chests are mostly inside of the houses. So one tip I could give you is to maybe drop a little bit later than everybody else and try and find a house that nobody else has gone to. But the house that has the most chests is this blue one over here with 4 actually, with 1 in the very top in the attic. Then if you go all the way down to the basement, there is 1 down there in this room off to the side, and then there are 2 more in the secret base. If you break through like the boxes under the stairs, go down there, you can find 2 more, 1 in the corner over here and then 1 next to these exercise machines over here. As for the other houses, the one right across the street only has 1 chest in it, so it might not be that common, might be a safe one to get up in the attic right there, as you can see. And then over here inside of this brick house, there are another 2 chests to get, 1 in the attic as per usual. There's generally a chest in every single attic of the houses, but you can see that one right there. And then if you go down to the garage, there is 1 up in like the sort of attic of that place also. Now after that, actually a good house to go after that probably nobody's really going to go to is this broken down sort of house over here, which actually has 3 chests inside of it. That's right, if they all decide to spawn, there's 1 in the very top, this small portion, this smaller attic right here. Then you go down to the 2nd floor attic and find a chest right up there also. And then if you want to find the 3rd one, you go all the way down down to the basement and there's a chest behind this like crate right here. So that house would definitely be a good option, but you do have the final house across the street all by itself with one chest in the attic and I believe one in the garage too. There's also a chest over in this building over here, but it is pretty far away from Salty Springs, so I can't say if this one will count or not. You may have to test it out, but you know, if you're having a tough time with the others, might as well try it. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the chests inside of Salty Springs. But after that, as always, for a reminder, do not click leave the match when you're going for these challenges quickly. You do have to make sure you either get eliminated or finish off the game for the challenges to count. So, you know, just build a giant staircase, jump off of it, make sure you return to the lobby that way, and the chest will count towards the challenge. But moving on again here, let's talk about the 250 damage headshot challenge, which is a pretty unique challenge, but I'm pretty sure this one will be pretty easy and one that you probably might not even have to worry about. Like when I'm playing normally, I usually get headshots quite a bit, especially if I get like just a beautiful sniper headshot. That's like 180 damage right there. But if you're focusing on this one itself, there's a few tips I can give you. The first of which is to maybe go for it with shotguns. Try and get close to somebody in like solo, get into build battles and stuff like that. As you can see in this clip, if you aim for the head with your shotgun, it's generally easier to get headshots that way, and they rack up a ton of damage. Like right here, you can see me getting 89 on this guy, which is already about a third of the way there. If I managed to get another headshot, it would probably add another like 89 or something, and I would already be 2/3 done on one single opponent. But yeah, if you're still having trouble with this, you can also do the thing that I recommended for the silenced SMG eliminations. Go into a squad game, knock somebody down, or actually a teammate could even knock somebody down for you, and then just get some headshots on them. Once they're down, should be super easy to do that way. But after that, let's get into it with the treasure challenge for this week. So this one does not have a map. They kind of switch it off every other week. And again, the clue for this one is to search between a crater, a bear, and I believe like a refrigeration unit or a shipment of refrigerators or something like that. Now, before we get into exactly where it is, guys, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so because I do these guides every single week, a day before the challenges even go up. So if you don't want to miss those, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, getting back into it, the location for this star is actually over here. It took me a little bit to find. I was a little bit confused about what type of bear it was referring to and like what was a shipment of refrigerators, but I found it. So the crater in this clue is the one right over here by the Gus racetrack, and there's actually another star from a previous week over here, but this is for sure the crater that it is talking about, mainly because there is also a bear down the road right over here. It's a weird bear with like a backpack full of fish, which would actually make a pretty sick back bling, to be completely honest, but that is for sure the bear. Now, of course, since we have those two, there should be a shipment of refrigerators somewhere nearby, and it is over here on the road next to this house, and that is for sure the shipment of refrigerators. There's just an absolute ton of them inside of there. So now that we know where all of those are, let's go up a little bit in theater mode and see where those kind of cross and intersect, and we can find this little patch of like dead grass right in the center of those, which is for sure where the star is going to be for this week. I'm 100% sure about it. It is going to be in this location right here. So yeah, guys, just drop in, grab this star right away. Should be super simple and get you 1000 XP or 10 battle pass stars. But moving on again here, let's talk about the Pleasant Park elimination. So this one, I mean, it's pretty easy, but I do have a couple of tips for you guys, just in case, you know, you have a tough time getting eliminations. But for the most part, this is a pretty easy challenge. If you drop there a couple of times in solo, and definitely do solo. I mean, you can do squads with some friends, but more than likely it's best to do it in solo because you avoid like having to knock somebody down. You get the elimination, you get it done just like that in solo. Now, personally, the best house that I like to drop at in Pleasant Park is Big Blue over here on this side of the map. This is the spot that I always drop, but it always has a ton of loot, ton of floor loot, a couple of chests in there as well, and you can get stacked up like super fast here. And then once you get stacked up, you know, run outside, break down some trees to get some materials, and just go to town trying to get some eliminations. If you want more loot, you can go to the house next to it, which has a ton of loot as well. But yeah, once you get all your stuff, just, you know, seek people out in the other houses, try and build up to the ceiling first so that you have the high ground, stuff like that. But if you try enough times, you will eventually get this one done pretty easily. Now, moving on again here to another challenge I want to talk about that is a little bit more interesting here. These 7 chests in one game. Now, this one is subject to change because the challenges are leaked. These aren't official challenges quite yet until tomorrow. So I'm expecting this one to maybe go down to like 4 or 5 because 7 chests in one game is pretty tough. However, it is still possible. As you can see in this clip I'm about to show you, it can be done. But the way that I think is probably best to do it is in a game mode like Teams of 20. I mean, you can also do this in any other game mode, but I feel like Teams of 20 is a little bit easier because you can see where a bunch of your teammates are going. But with that being said, the exact thing that you want to do is separate from your team. So when you start off the match here, try and go to somewhere where the rest of your team is not going. So somewhere on your side, like in this clip right here, I went to Wailing Woods. Nobody goes to Wailing Woods anymore, so it's great to get a bunch of chests. But yeah, as you're seeing, I'm just grabbing chests in Wailing Woods. They're like all over the place here. But along with that, some other quiet places to go are maybe like Moisty Mire. There's a bunch of chests in there for sure. Maybe find some at like the prison as well. And other spots are maybe like Flush, and then like the dance area with like the industrial buildings next to it. Stuff like that works pretty well. Also maybe the top left of the map with Haunted Hills and the metal place that I'm forgetting the name of, but up in the top left of the map there's a bunch of chests up there that are pretty quiet to get. So yeah, we'll have to see about this one, but should be interesting. Now moving on to the last challenge this week. This one is a little bit tough for me to give you advice on because we don't know the exact way that it's going to work, but it is the Hungry Gnomes challenge. So what exactly does that mean? Well, I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the Gnomes challenge from the previous season, the one where you were basically able to find gnomes in every single named location. Now again, this could be subject to change, so if it does change, I will update you down below in the pinned comment and also on my Twitter account at TheLlamaSir whether or not this challenge changes, and I'll also give you guys a full guide there. So be sure to check that before doing this challenge. Now with that being said, I also don't know the exact location of the Hungry Gnomes quite yet, so I will be putting like a picture guide down below in that pinned comment as well. However, I am pretty sure that this challenge will have something to do with the named locations, or since they are hungry gnomes, they will be around like different food areas of the map. That would make sense to me. So like the taco shacks, maybe like Tomato Town with the pizza area. Areas like that would make a lot of sense. Now with that being said, where exactly are these different like food areas of the map? Well, here's a quick map I made of likely locations that these gnomes could be in. And again, this is just speculation at this point because they're not officially in the game quite yet. But again, you've got Tomato Town, you've got this concession area near Risky Reels, some other taco shacks around the map, a place in Lucky Landing, Greasy Grove, Der Burger. There would probably be a hungry gnome in there as well. But just all of these locations should have a gnome somewhere around like a food themed area, I'm assuming. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for this week's guide. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Along with that, you can check out the previous week's guide on the left, and then on the right, another fun video of breaking the meteor with a shopping cart. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.